Hey everyone, I've had a really normal, average month. How about you? About 6 weeks ago, I made a TikTok and that TikTok did, I would say, well. So this is the first video I filmed since stuff's happened recently. And I just wanted to get on here and first of all say thank you. That's the main theme of the video, is like, thank you so much. I thought I'd do a little bit of story time on, what happened recently. Video go up, number go up. I'm still talking about it so weirdly. Also in the big scheme of things, I know I'm not like, wow guys, like no pictures, no photos, please. Like I know in the big scheme of things, it's not that big, but to me, it feels big. Like I recognize I'm not Ashby, okay? Like I'm not getting 2 million TikTok followers like in a couple of weeks. But in saying that, you know, I'm bashful. So I'm gonna yap for a bit and then I'm gonna answer some questions and celebrate. Okay, originally I was planning this video for 50K and then we kind of went past 50K to 60K. So then I was like, okay, we're gonna do it for 60K. But at time of recording, I have 69,000 subscribers. 69. Cool, I'm an adult. I have my little drinky drink that I have been sipping on as I've been setting up to film. And if you have been subscribed for a while, then you know how much I love a sippy. If you are new here, I love a little sippy. I love a functional beverage. And this video is sponsored by the Collagen Co. And I'm having a little sippy sip on an icy cold beverage, which is their beautiful energy in the raspberry crush flavor. Love a raspberry flavor. But it comes in a tub. You just mix it in with water, pop it in your drinking vessel of choice, and you just have a little sippy sip to sip on. And it is delightful, yummy, and refreshing. But it also has a bunch of benefits. I'm gonna tell you about a few. So it does have caffeine, but it's caffeine derived from green coffee beans. So it's more of a sustained energy boost. It also has hydrolyzed collagen peptides. And again, if you're new here, you may not know this, I'm a bit of a skincare freak, but ingesting collagen has been shown to have benefits in your skin, in your hair, in your nails, for skin elasticity and firmness and plumping, all the good stuff. So if you're looking to add collagen into your daily routine, might I recommend doing it through a little sippy sip. Potentially a raspberry flavored one, and you can even add heart-shaped ice if you want. Admittedly, my ice is melted, but it was heart-shaped. Anyway, thank you to the Collagen Co for sponsoring this portion of the video and supporting the channel. An Australian brand supporting an Australian gal. I'm gonna pop the details to their website below, and if you want to grab something from their website, you can use my code lucy.livin10 to save a little cash money. So I'm just gonna tell you a little story of how it went, because you know, we throw around the word viral a lot. I don't even really know what we would call viral anymore, because it feels a little facetious to be like, I went viral, you know what I mean? And admittedly, I'm probably gonna use that as the title because that sounds better than being like, oh, a TikTok did kind of good. But that single piece of content, like that video, probably has like over, I wanna say like 11 million views combined. And that does feel like a lot, because I was talking to a friend about it and she was like, wow, can you visualize that many people? And I was like, no, I can't. I don't think our brains were meant to process that. So basically what happened was, as I'm sure you can imagine, I made a video. Basically, I was shopping for a wedding guest dress. And funnily enough, I was talking to my friend who is the bride, and we were talking about her wedding, and I was like, oh, I need to find a dress. And she was like, you should film it. People love that. And I was like, really? Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. And I remember making the video and being like, oh, this is fun. And I was doing the voiceover and I was like, yeah, this is fun. Like I'm feeling good about this piece of content. And I was like, yeah, I feel like this will do like well in the scheme of like what does well for me. Because up until this point, I think the most views I'd ever gotten on a single piece of content was about like 1.5 million on a TikTok of me dressed up as Sexy Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. And to be honest, I think that's probably a really good and true representation of who I am. That is the most views I've ever gotten on a single piece of content. I remember I put it up and then I went back and checked it and I was like, wow, that got a lot of views really quickly. I remember going to bed and being like, wow, in a couple of hours, it's hit like 100,000 views. That's so many views. And I just had this sort of feeling where I was like, that feels like a lot. I don't remember any other time where I've seen views go up like that quickly. But then I was like, honk shoe, me, time for bed. And I woke up the next morning and it had 1 million views. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. And then it just kept going, just kept going. And then the video kept getting views over the next couple of days. And I was like, okay, like, but surely like the next few videos that I post, the views will drop off. That's how it goes. And then they kind of, I mean, they did, but like not as much as I thought they would. Sorry, I feel like low-key a little bit of a wanker talking about it. And I still think I just got really lucky with the algorithm on that piece of content. Like, you know, sometimes things just hit at the right time. It's mixed between, you know, putting in the work, but then a huge amount of good luck. Like I made a video that I was happy with and I got lucky with the timing and the algorithm, right? So I was like, lightning doesn't strike twice, but I'm gonna pop it on YouTube Shorts because like, why not? Literally, why not? And it got 5 million views on YouTube Shorts as well. So, and I think that's why some of you who are watching this video are probably here, I imagine. Let me know if that's not the case. And then, I don't know, I've just been making more stuff. Wow, me, good word, do good with words. I finished up the series where I found my wedding guest dress, and I've been trying like different stuff as well, just trying to see what everyone likes, what works, what doesn't work, and just trying to, I guess, make hay while the sun shines, you know what I mean? I feel really, really lucky and really, really grateful, and I also don't entirely know if like it's sunk in yet. Because like my goal for the end of the year was to hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like I would feel good about that. I've been making videos for a long time and sort of seeing, you know, all of that hard work that I've really put in over like 5, 6, 7 years. Like thinking about it took all of those years to kind of get to the point that I was at before, and then seeing that kind of doubled, almost tripled in the matter of weeks is really, really crazy. So yeah, while I know it's like not the biggest deal in the world and it's not like the biggest numbers ever to some people, to me it's really meaningful and is a really big deal. And here's the thing, I would say I'm an optimist, but I also like, I try to keep my hopes in check. Like I was like, oh, you know, these shorts are doing well, but like, I don't know if people will watch longer videos, or, you know, these TikTok views are doing well, but like, I don't know, maybe they'll fall off a cliff tomorrow, and like, that's totally fine. And while things have definitely like tapered off a little bit, yeah, it's still a lot more than it was before. And I'm still not sure, like I'm a few weeks in, I'm still not sure if that's like the new normal or if it's gonna come down a little bit more. But I've just been surprised at how even like past kind of the series that I think everyone kind of initially saw, that people are continuing to kind of stay around and engage and be interested. And so if that's you, if you watch those kind of shorts and you've come over and you're watching this video, thank you so much. Not to be like parasocial to you, but like I'm someone who watches other people's content and really enjoys what it adds to my day and really values that. And I never take for granted the fact that someone is taking time out of their day to watch me and, you know, give it a like or say something really nice. Like those are people, and I'm a person, so yeah, thanks. I'm like this at work too, by the way. Like my coworkers were saying something nice about like something that I have done at work recently, and I was like, cool, like I take it really badly. And like thinking about the situation like more logically and like looking at the numbers is a good way to stave off the awkwardness. I'm just looking at the numbers, like I'm just plotting the chart, you know, I'm not actually like having to think about the fact that this good thing has happened to me. Speaking of numbers and facts and figures, because I am a type A girly, I love a spreadsheet. In total, I think before posting that initial video on TikTok, I had, and I don't mean this to be like off-putting and being like this is how much, but just like to illustrate like the magnitude. Before posting that video, I had like 44 something thousand followers. That was like my total audience across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And today it's about, let me just watch the numbers, 115,000. So that feels like a lot. And yeah, next steps, I'm planning to just keep on doing what I'm doing, making videos that I know people enjoy, trying new things that I want to try to see if other people like them, you know, same old, same old. I do want to say, if you are an existing subscriber on YouTube and have been subscribed to my YouTube channel for a while, thank you so much for your patience while uploads have been a little inconsistent. I literally work in social media and content for my corporate career. It's like my background. And if there's any advice that I ever give to anyone, it's always like, you need to ride the wave. So I wouldn't be taking my own advice if I didn't kind of ride the wave. But as a result, I have been focusing on that and just pulling back a little bit on the longer form content for YouTube. It does take longer to produce. It's more time consuming, but I do love it. And I do really love YouTube. It's like my original home. I've always been a YouTube girl first and foremost. So I will be getting back into the swing of things. Just bear with me while I try and sort out what rhythm works best for me, because I didn't used to upload as much short form content. I would upload like maybe a couple of times a week, but now I'm sort of uploading short form more often. But I know there are some of you who really love the long form content, and I really love it as well. So thank you for your patience. I don't have any plans to abandon long form. That's not what's happening. I'm just trying to work it out, okay? Move around some things, see what works. But I do have more videos on the way. I did film some in Japan. Again, editing long form content is just much more time consuming. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I also haven't filmed my like Japan haul yet. Is that something you guys would still want to see as a long form piece of content, or would you just like it in short form? Or I can do both. I thought we could do a little celebratory Q&A and like a little get to know me if you are new here and you made it through the first portion of this video. So the first question is, new subscriber here. I love your content and whole vibe. Thank you. That's very nice. You'll come to learn that I'm a menace if you haven't yet, but sorry, let me try and accept the compliment, accept the compliment. Thank you. That is very nice. My question is, what do you do for work when working from home? What I do when I work from home is I work in marketing. I absolutely love my job. I love my workplace. I work part-time, so I have a little bit more of a flexible schedule than if I was doing like a full traditional 9 to 5, because I have been doing content for a while and it does make up a portion of my income. My work knows about my YouTube and my social media, and previously in other like corporate roles or other jobs I've had in the past, it's not been seen as a good thing, and that's not the case with my current workplace. So yeah, that's what I do. And then the rest of the time I do this. The next question is, how are you feeling about the move? Is Sydney starting to feel like home? So about 18 months ago, me and my boyfriend slash partner, I use the terms interchangeably because technically he's my boyfriend, but like we've been together for a long time. We moved to Sydney from Brisbane, and yeah, it is starting to feel like home. I would say like in the first year, every time we would go back home, whether it was for like, you know, to see family or for Christmas, like that kind of thing, we went back a couple of times. And whenever we went back, I was like, oh, well, Brisbane's home and like Sydney's new and different. But it was really weird this time when we went back for my friend's wedding. Brisbane sort of didn't feel like home anymore. It felt familiar, but it felt different. Yeah, it didn't feel the same. So I would say Sydney does feel like home now, which yeah, we're both really enjoying it. I really love it. I love the lifestyle. I definitely feel like I'm out and about more, and I am very extroverted, so that feels good. Next question, what kind of music do you listen to? I mostly listen to K-pop and like theater, musical theater music. I was a theater kid. Don't know if anyone picked up the vibe. I know, shocking. That's what I mostly listen to, although I will say I'm more of a podcast type of girly or YouTube video than a music girly. And that's because I mostly work from home. My part-time job is remote first. So I don't really have like a commute, like a daily commute. And I feel like that's when most people listen to music. And I don't really have that. So I don't find myself listening to music as much. And also I do a lot of work where I'm like, I can't really be listening to music while I do it. Or I find that I get distracted if I'm listening to music that has like lyrics or something. Like pop music is what I enjoy. I should also just say I just listen to like pop music as well. I've been really enjoying Adele, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter. I love the pop girlies. But if I'm listening to their music while I'm working, I find myself getting distracted. So I mostly listen to like cafe ambient noise, or I listen to ASMR while I'm working because it's like quiet and like relaxing. I'm a big ASMR fan. Next question is, what got you into making videos? Honestly, watching them. I grew up watching YouTubers. I grew up watching Zoella, Essie Button, Dan and Phil, Ingrid Nielsen, Michelle Phan, like so many of like the OG YouTubers. I was a big YouTube teenager, and I'm just someone who like, I love to drama class and doing like musical theater and stuff like that, and so it feels kind of like, I don't know, a similar sort of thing. So that's I guess what made me want to start making videos, is like I just monkey see, monkey do. And actually there's another question I got that kind of ties in with that, which is, did you ever imagine you'd be an influencer? If not, what was your dream job? So like no, but also like not no. Like I said, I was probably like 13 or 14 when I started watching YouTube like more regularly, like watching YouTubers. And it was as I was sort of in the end of high school and at the start of university that like being a YouTuber was considered like a thing you could be and a job. I know like now like every single child is just like, I'm gonna be like Mr. Beast, but like, yeah, when I was growing up, it was sort of like, is that something you can be? But I always imagine myself doing something creative, mostly. I don't know if I ever settled on one thing, but I know when I was younger, I thought I would be an actress or a singer or a musical theater. Can you tell they're all like performing? But then also I remember thinking that I would potentially be a pastry chef because I really like baking. And then for a period of time, I thought I would potentially be a lawyer, journalism, like being like a beauty writer or something, which I guess is like a more traditional version of what I do now. And then like working in advertising, specifically like being a copywriter or like a creative director, which isn't super different to what I actually do for a job. So like, no, I didn't ever think like I'm gonna be an influencer. I think if I time traveled back in time and told like my younger self, like, hey, in a few years time, this is what you're gonna be doing, I'd be happy about it. And I am happy about it. I really like my jobs right now. This next one is from my friend, which says, don't you know if you wear red to a wedding, it means you slept with the groom? Okay, so if you didn't watch the dress series, I tried on some dresses that were red in tone. And mind you, none of them were like a cherry red, but they were, you know, in the red zone. They were like maroons, okay? And I have had quite a few comments from people very accusatorily telling me that it means that I slept with the groom. Now, I know this is a thing, or I suppose I've learned this is a thing. I don't know if it's as much of a thing in Australia, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but like talking with my friends and talking with my friend who was the bride, on her mood board for dresses for the wedding, she literally included like maroon, plum, like red types of dresses as like inspiration for what to wear. So she definitely didn't feel that way. But I have come to learn there are many faux pas. There's actually a range that I seemingly almost committed in my dress shopping journey. Unless the people getting married specifically request that I wore like a cherry red, I probably wouldn't, just because I think it's like, I just wouldn't, it's not a color I would wear for like that type of event. But in a similar way that like I wouldn't wear like a neon because it just feels like a lot, you know? But if the people were like, guys, everyone wear red, or like everyone wear neon, then I would do that. Anyway, it's been interesting seeing what people think is appropriate and inappropriate. And the funniest thing is that like everyone has a different opinion. Like there is no unanimous like, yes, this is appropriate, and no, it's not. There were some people being like, yes, this is so fine to wear to a wedding. And other people were like, if you wear that to a wedding, you're a dirty harlot. And I was like, well, what cheese is your favorite? This is a great question. I do love cheese. I would say my all-time favorite cheese, or the cheese that like, it's a cheese where I would always be down to have a little nibble, is I believe it's like a truffle pecorino. And I realize that does sound bourgeoisie, but it's like a pecorino cheese that has like a little ripple of like truffle through it. I don't get it that often because it's a little bougie, but it is my favorite cheese. It's so yummy. I got a few different comments and questions about my hair, which is very nice. Thank you so much. Someone asked, how is your hair always so perfect? I'm gonna tell you, it's actually not. I just don't film or take pictures when I have bad hair days. That's the beauty of content creation. I can kind of work my way around bad hair days. But I do think I have gotten a lot more good hair days than bad as of recent. I alternate between doing a Dyson Airwrap, which I did this yesterday and it's still looking really good. I find it does last me for about a week, but I do have hair that doesn't need to be washed that often, very lucky. And then I also do heatless curls if I'm feeling lazy and can just pop them in the night before, and then the next morning it looks pretty good. The heatless curls I don't think I've nailed as much, like I haven't got the routine as down pat as the Dyson Airwrap routine, but I think that helps. Also having a good haircut. I found a new hairdresser in Sydney and I've been 3 or 4 times, which means things are kind of getting serious. And I think he does a really good job. So can't take all the credit, can I? I'd love to hear a bit more about your childhood in Hong Kong. What are your fondest memories and how did it help shape you? So if you didn't know, I grew up in Hong Kong. I moved there with my family when I was about 2 years old, so I don't really remember life in Australia, like pre-Hong Kong. And we lived there until I was about 9 years old, and then my parents divorced. And so my brother and I moved back with my mum to Australia when I was 9. So what are your fondest memories? I have a lot, and it feels really weird because it feels really odd to associate like childhood nostalgia with a completely different continent and a completely different culture. My fondest childhood memories, I remember going to this one particular restaurant which doesn't exist anymore, but it was a dim sum place. I'm still a really big like dim sum yum cha enjoyer. I also remember going through like the markets with my mum and like through the streets. I remember going on the tram, like old school trams, and also the underground MTR. I also really remember around the times of year, so Chinese New Year and then also the Mid-Autumn Festival, and just all of the like special things that come with that time of year, so like lanterns and moon cakes and like hongbao, like the red lucky packets. In terms of how it's shaped me, I would say some of my formative like food experiences were in Hong Kong. And I don't know, I can't tell for sure, right, if they 100% impacted my taste buds now, but I definitely do have a penchant for like Asian style desserts and drinks, because it's not like I was eating like yum cha or Cantonese or like Chinese cuisine every single day at home. Like I was a child and both of my parents are white Australians, so we were having spaghetti bolognese and like fish fingers. But I guess being exposed at like a young age to like different flavors and different types of culture made that feel really normal and like not that different to me. And even though I definitely have a sweet tooth, like I love sweets, I am very much like a, I don't like my desserts too sweet type of person. Otherwise, when I was a kid, I did learn Mandarin in primary school and I kept learning it all through high school. Unfortunately, I couldn't pursue it at university with what I studied, and I wasn't able to practice much in Brisbane. I've been able to practice it a bit more in Sydney. So yeah, 我可以说一点点中文，但是我觉得我的中文一点儿不好的，对不起。Okay, and now we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. Favorite color to wear? This color. Dresses or pants? Pants? Every day? I don't think I feel the cutest in a dress. What would be your Pokemon partner? I think I would be Sylveon. Is that a basic answer? Otherwise, Pachirisu or Baneri. Go-to gas station snack. I don't drive and we don't own a car. I don't have one. Maybe like a sausage roll. Where is your favorite place to buy clothes from? Depop. I buy a lot of my clothes secondhand. I honestly buy from a lot of different brands and places, so there's no one place where I'm like, oh yeah, I get like everything from them. But I can get a lot of stuff on Depop. Is that cheating as an answer? Maybe. I don't know. What is your hot or cold beverage of the moment? Well, I'm just about to finish this one, and that is a delicious cold beverage. But apart from that, I love an iced matcha or a kombucha. And a hot beverage, I honestly just like a cappuccino, like a really good Australian style cafe cappuccino. Where do you want to travel? A lot of places. Off the top of my head, Vietnam, Taiwan, China, a lot of places in Europe, which we are planning a trip next year, potentially. A lot of places. I love traveling. And those are our rapid fire questions, which brings us to the end of the questions. So hopefully if you are a new subscriber, you have gotten to know me a little bit better. And if you're an existing subscriber, maybe you learned something new. But the main thing you all need to know is that I am a menace. And if you weren't aware of that, you will be soon enough. I just want to say again, oh no, Lucy's being sincere on main. She's being sincere. If you have been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all of your support and, you know, being an early adopter. And if you are one of the majority, which is crazy to say, thank you so much for being here. Things are still kind of like changing and I don't know exactly where we're gonna go or end up, but I am really, really grateful and excited about what's going on, even if I don't think it's really sunk into the old grey matter yet. I also want to give the biggest shout out and the biggest thank you to my YouTube channel members, the Rat Royalty. If you didn't know, my YouTube channel members have a Discord and we also have a monthly live stream, as well as some other things. You can click on the details down there if you want to see what it entails. But getting to chat with you and seeing your Discord notifications come off my phone really makes me smile. And when I get to live stream and chat with you all, I just feel really, really lucky to have such lovely audience members that I get to really connect with. So big thank you to them, you know, for supporting me for a long time. I just wanted to make a special shout out to them because they're the best. And I'm gonna go work on some more goofy, silly, fun content for you all. Thank you so much. I'm being so awkward. And thank you so much for 60K on YouTube. Yeah, that feels crazy. 60,000 on YouTube. So that's so many. That's like 60,000s, you know, 60 times 1,000. And as I'm editing this, it is 87,000, 87000. What's going on? Mum, can you come pick me up? It's a lot. Thank you so much. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.